We'll do a bunch of stuff. I love that tune.
Good evening and welcome to Field Talk. I did manage to send some social alerts this time. Very, very good. But let me just go ahead and do a couple because I was slightly slow. And just one more, guys. Never mind. It's not working. Oh well. Oh, I forgot to activate the chat. Ah, welcome once again to the Ryan Technology Show. So, good evening and welcome to Field Talk. I am also known as Field of Bears, here to remind you that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide. Yesterday we had just a little bit of a rambly chat about the new priesthood. And this is an idea that's been bandied about quite frequently, but after I watched the CEO of Google at the hearing in front of Congress lie through his filthy Silicon Valley communistic teeth, I thought that it bore just a little bit more discussion. And my thought is you wouldn't be terribly surprised if an area was heavily concentrated with Catholics, if businesses in that area started to exhibit some kind of bias in favor of Catholics or against other Christians or religions. Although Catholics tend to be tolerant of at least other Christians. Oh no, Air Bear, you need to get yourself some headphones. Somebody tell Air Bear to get headphones. In any case, you wouldn't be terribly surprised if you ended up having a bias in that area in favor of Catholics, in favor possibly of other Christians, and against other religions or atheists. In fact, something that's quite close is Romania, which has a high concentration of Eastern Orthodox Christians, and there's a bias in favor of either Eastern Orthodox Christians and against, say, Muslims, atheists in Romania, and it's not terribly surprising. And if a major social media platform happened to have its base in Romania, you wouldn't be terribly surprised if that bias was expressed in their enforcement of the terms of service. But when you take that same kind of concept and you apply it to, say, I don't know, Patreon, suddenly you get told a conspiracy theories. But the thing is you don't need to have a conspiracy if you happen to have a high concentration of very religious individuals. And the religion itself will change how the bias is expressed. And of course, the religion I'm talking about is social justice. And it doesn't have any real codex, it doesn't have any real hierarchy except for, you know, the black, gay, transsexual, Muslim with one leg is the most powerful individual in the Church of Intersectionality. I think, probably. I don't know. But anyway, it's basically just communism with the white. The further you get away from white, male, and Christian, then the more power you have in this church, I believe. And which is why I believe that social justice gives so much deference to Islam. It's a kind of I think it's this kind of meeting of, on the one hand, their hatred for Christianity, and on the other hand, the fact that if they're even in the slightest bit critical of Islam, people will get shot to death. In their newspaper headquarters. So you get those two things kind of meeting, and then you get a lot of excuses, a lot of deference, a lot of just things where you wouldn't expect these communists to be agreeing with Islam, but they're united in their hatred, I guess, and also one side is deeply terrified of the other. Which is not good, as you can imagine. But away from the interreligion kind of relationship that they have, and more onto the religion itself. And I think the religion gets kind of it doesn't have like an official codex or an official kind of holy text, but they do have holy positions. They have the professors, they have the media moguls, they have celebrity actors, and they have CEOs of major tech companies. And I believe that the most popular religion in a place called Silicon Valley, which is a collection of three cities in the Bay Area, also known as San Francisco. Not quite San Francisco itself, but a few suburbs of San Francisco is where these companies have set up shop. I believe that the most popular religion in that area is social justice. And I'm trying to kind of describe what social justice is. Since it modifies justice, it is inherently unjust. If you need any kind of modifier on the concept of justice, then you're discarding justice as a concept in its own right. You're saying that being just in and of itself isn't enough for you. You need to be socially just. You need to be racially just. You need to be. They worship themselves the last moment, and so it's a little bit of a perversion, a lot of it of a perversion of justice itself. And so in this religion, there are a few things that you see as dogmatic. Always agree with hashtag Black Lives Matter. Always agree with socialism. Always agree with always agree with Muslims, except for when they're saying things. Never do anything concrete, and always punish whoever you can. The religion is very, very negative in its actions. I have never seen social justice warriors, social justice faithfuls, do anything positive. I've only ever seen them protest against things, get people deplatformed, wreck people's lives, dox people. That's all I've ever seen them do. I've never seen them actually make a drive for. Well, that's not true. I think I've heard of them making charity drives before, but I can't confirm this. They've done it, but I'm sure that someone who thinks that social justice is a positive value might have at least attempted. I don't know how well it went for them. So it's always very negative. And the thing about negativity is much easier to accomplish a negative goal than it is to accomplish a positive goal. Say if you want to do something positive, let's think of something that's generally considered to be positive. Just random, the Toys for Tots drive. You have to get thousands of people to go out, spend money on toys for children, get in their car, and drive to a drop off location. And then you have to get a bunch of Marines to go and pick up those toys and wrap them and deliver them to the children of deploy to the children of deployed servicemen. And the Marine Corps ends up being basically Santa Claus for a lot of children. It is a really positive thing. Positive for the Marines, it's positive for the donors, it's positive for the children, and it's positive for the parents of the children who are dealing with the stresses of deployment. But that's very difficult. All of these moving parts, and they have to be positive all the way through, from start to finish. If you have a single hiccup, if you have a single mistake, it all falls apart. But if you have a negative goal, say, oh, I don't know, getting someone you don't like kicked off of a website, all you have to do is get a whole bunch of people to report them as bad and say mean things about them repeatedly. That's it. That's all you have to do. Yeah, that's all you have to do. You have to get a bunch of angry people to click on a report button and then say mean things. That's it. No one has to work together. No one has to be positive. No one has to spend money. No one has to get in their car and drive anywhere. If you want to get someone deplatformed, you can do it all sitting on your behind in your living room or basement. or your mother's basement, as it may more likely be. And so gives them it gives them the sense of belonging in order to go on Twitter and signal how much they despise someone. Hey, we all agree that, say, Sargon the Cod is a garbage human. Hashtag ban him from all the things or whatever. And they can feel like A, they belong, and B, they're doing something virtuous without actually A, belonging, or B, doing something virtuous. As I just found out today, a very prominent virtue signaler in the Star Wars fandom has been accused of sexually assaulting a woman, and at the mere accusation, all of the people who he was previously virtual signaling to have suddenly started turning on this guy. He never belonged, and he was never doing anything virtuous. All he was doing was saying mean things about other people. And now he's the target of those mean things. So I don't believe that the faithful of this religion are getting very much out of it. That would be Boulder Bear. I don't think that a site that flips off its user base when it uses them to help enforce their terms of service. I don't think it would last very long if it started flipping them the bird. Not exactly the best way to ingratiate yourself with your users, but I know what you mean. You want me to answer what, Kodiak Bear? Yes, I am drinking Thai tea today. Now, something I think might be interested. We might. Uh, yeah, that's why EA is failing. EA is failing because they keep on flipping their consumers the bird and telling them not to buy their crummy games. Oh, surprisingly, when you tell people not to buy things, they stop buying it. I've never left the topic, Sergeant Peterson, except for talking about uh, Kodiak. I don't think it's from Oregon. So, yes, I'm always on topic, Sarge. I'm always on topic. I don't know what you're talking about. And speaking of always being on topic, it might be interesting to come up with another name for social justice warriors and NPCs. Though both of these were delightfully triggering when they became popular. But I don't know if. Oh no, it's not Oregon chai. No, it's just organic chai tea that I buy in bulk. It's very good. It Squirrels are evil. I hate them. Another name that properly express how religiously zealous that these people tend to be. How just irrationally hateful that the zealots of this religion are. It's like a zealot is the only thing I can think of to call it, but it's not specific enough. And calling them social justice zealots, I don't know. Like maybe like social justicars, but I don't think they would get the joke. I don't know if anyone would get that joke. So if any of you can come up with a kind of a name that's got a good kind of religious connotation, anyone who can come up with a name that's got kind of a religious connotation, because I think that we need to drive home how much this is basically a godless religion. Like, the, we really need to drive home that this is a religion without any spirit in it. Any spirit in it. Oh no, a justicar was a position in the church. I don't know anything about I don't know anything about Magic the Gathering, Tommy. So I don't know what I if anyone can come up with a good name, help me out with that. That would be good. I don't think that anyone would get Justicar though. Like social Justicar actually sounds really good to me. But and I don't want to call them social and it's got to kind of roll off the tongue as well. Maybe N Priest sees? That's kind of funny. Well, it has its sacred object, and those are minorities. So it functions in order to kind of bind these people together with a common belief, but it doesn't provide them any community. The Galactic Order of Soy sounds pretty good, but it's a little bit too grandiose for them, I think. They might accidentally think we're complimenting them. There's a new commercial, Big Rig and Bear. I will probably love it. Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying now, Goosebear. It does function like a religion does in many ways, but it's also missing some very important things like spirituality and community. Very important. The Terrestrial Order of Soy. You are hilarious. Trigger Nation. Uh, the question of whether machines can think is as irrelevant as whether a machine can swim. Golly, Goosebear. Now that makes me wonder whether it's important that NPCs can think or not. The new trigger order. I mean, I'm thinking about just calling them the faithful. It's very well, Goosebear. That's actually a really, really important question. Is if NPCs function as people, does it matter whether they can think? Hmm. I wonder. I really do wonder. Like, what is their if they're performing their function properly? But I think that most of them are defective, and that's the problem. Trigonometry. Trigs, they seem complicated, and they can't figure it out. That's very funny. The fate, the fold. Faithful Order of Leon and Dunham. That's quite good. I do like that. But I don't think I do like that, except it attaches it to a single person. We need something that anyone who sees that will know it applies to them and be triggered by it. If you're atheistic, you see everyone as an NPC. I wonder about that. That's an interesting question. I think there are some atheists who are like that, but others who are not. Smart enough to pour coffee, not smart enough to live there getting hosed. I think you meant I think you meant as there as the contraction. uh, very funny, Uru. Very funny. I think that you missed the boat on that one. Children of the Bejoined. That's quite good. Like, I think it's very important that the idea of social justice as a religion gets pushed, because really, that's that's how they're treating it. They're treating all of their precepts as articles of faith. Look, Sarge, all I'm saying is there's a difference between helping your Uncle Jack off of a horse or helping your Uncle Jack off a horse. It's very very important, that comma placement. Ah, the sects. That's good. Call them sectarians. PC police is a bit of an old meme, and it doesn't convey the religiosity that they display. Yes, Urusledge is called an internal combustion engine, and pretty much all of the self-propelled vehicles these days run on it. Noodle Arm Revolt. Well, we'll call it that if they're ever revolting against something, but they're currently in charge of things, in charge of some very important things, which is the entire problem. They are militant PC theologists, but I think sectarians is very good. I like that. Ah, the sects. You think it's making love, but you just get screwed. Very true. I like yours, Airbear. I do like calling them the sects because there are sects of social justice as well, and they fight with each other quite a lot. Like the turfs versus the intersectionals. It's very it's well. I didn't know it was a slur against Catholics. I didn't know that sectarians was a slur against Catholics, but that actually works out. But sectarian is actually just descriptive as someone who belongs to a sect, and it was mostly used in the religious wars in Europe to describe people who belong to a particular sect of Protestantism. I didn't, which is why I didn't think it was a slur against Catholics. Yeah, it is. It is kind of a BS religion. It is kind of a cold, pucky religion. I agree. There's, it's like it lacks all of the spirituality, and it's even worse than religions which I believe to be incorrect because it's like it's all that without any spirituality in it. It's really the Nazarene Reich. Golly goose. Ha ha ha! That's very funny. Goose Bear. Now I get it. Oh, yeah. That's very interesting, Sledge. It's unfortunate that we're not exposed to very much period information, and many of us end up being ignorant of quite interesting facts. Thank you for letting me know about that. Oh, Big Riggin, Inquisitors. That's a good one as well, Big Riggin Bear. We could call them Inquisitors. I do quite like that. Oh, that's very good, Big Riggin Bear. Sectarians and Inquisitors. That's very good. I wonder. Let me see. Is it? Am I quiet for everybody or just Goose? Uru, you have been very helpful. I think I might give you a wrench. Possibly. Is that better? Or is that too much gain? Let me know. Let me know. You did get a very good. Ah, maybe I'll take it away from you and then give it back. Is that better? I'm going into the red a little bit now, so I'm wondering if... Okay, I'll leave the gain right there, and I'll try to speak into the mic just a little bit more. I'm Clay Cook. I don't recognize you. Maybe, possibly. Anyway, how are we doing on that? Oh, we're still doing really good on the time. Oh, yes. You definitely get a wrench. Hold on. Where's... Ah... This is... Sorry. The web page is going a little bit crazy. Um... There... There we go. Now it's caught up. There you go. You can have a wrench. Bang. Yes. Buy a handsome mug. It will make your coffee taste 30% handsomer. What's Tommy saying? I was busy. Tommy, your anti-Han hatred is showing once again. I don't think that social justice people have very much in common with the Han Chinese. Han? How's it pronounced? Who cares? They're Maoist anyway. Yes, they make excellent Christmas presents. You should buy 12. Hello, Lotta Loda. Welcome. Tommy says F China. Sarge, that is a terrible pun. You should feel great shame. Everyone is taller than Nimmer, you say. Well, I don't know. Maybe not everyone, but there are some. Yes, Tommy Lee is in my chat. So, there are... Your 3-year-old must be enormous, Big Ring Bear. I would go see a doctor. I'm wondering if the idea of social justice as a religion can catch on. If you guys are talking with people about social justice or talking to NPCs, talking to social justice warriors, it might be a good idea to use the term sectarian or inquisitor against them. And it would be rather amusing to see whether they get triggered. And if they do get triggered, I suggest getting your pals to use it as well in order to spread mirth around the internet. And it would be rather fun, I believe anyway, to see the idea of social justice as a religion promulgated a little bit further. Now, I've seen Styx put forward this Styx Hexenhammer put forward this idea on his channel quite a few times. But the thing is just calling it a religion doesn't go quite enough. It doesn't quite convey how dogmatic these people can be, how fervent, how zealous. Which is why I like Inquisitor so much. It's very good. Very good. Clay, the problem is, most of the SJWs haven't even read any of Marx. They just go by third and fourth hand knowledge. If their professor says that socialism is good, they just go with that. They don't actually read what it is, and they don't understand that Karl Marx made several very important predictions and was wrong on every single one. Because they've never actually read Das Kapital. They've never read anything. There's this kind of person who gets their positions not through reading, not through reasoning, not through introspection, not through exploration, but through social cue. If they receive rewards for holding a certain position, then that's the position that they will hold. If they receive punishments for holding a certain position, then they will abandon that position quickly. And they're kind of like, and they do this not only with political ideas, but they do it with morality quite a bit, which is why the outrage mob is so god-awful terrifying, because most of the people have no clue what they're supposed to be outraged about. They've never even heard. Most of the people who are pretending to be outraged about Gavin McInnes have never even heard of him. They have no idea who he is. Dax and Kodiak had your back when the big drunk guy rushed the stag on Nimmer. Small, but they got guts. I don't understand what that means. Well, I've talked about the idea of ideological possession in the past, and something that I think that a lot of people overlook is the fact that ideas in and of themselves are alive. Like, ideas don't want to be forgotten. They want to be propagated. Anyway, that's how I think of it. And so you don't really engage with the person a lot of times. You engage with the idea that's possessing them quite a lot. And it's not because they actually think. They're possessed by an idea because they haven't thought. It's not their own idea. It's someone else's idea. You guys get attacked in a bar? I've never read Dawkins, so this is all just coming out of my own head. So, concurrent thinking, I guess. Some ex-bears rushed Nimmer at Owen's show. What? Is that why? They do know that you're there, right, Sarge? That you live in Arizona. On a journey, I have not seen any indictments and ran the bunch of things. No. You're only as perceptive as the assumptions you make about around the world around us. Is that what you meant to type? It's yeah. A lot of things you miss if you have the wrong assumptions. It's better to make as few assumptions as possible and attempt to interpret the world as you see it through sense data. It's not an easy thing to do. Okay, Goose. Yeah. I have heard about. I have heard about that book. I've just never read it. No one got touched. Well, of course not. Sarge is in Arizona, and he protects all of the bears with his artillery. Just a drunk jerk trying to make a scene. Big Bear hasn't screamed in a minute. I wonder what's up. We'll see. Alright, guys. It is, we have 15 minutes left, if that. And so, you know what that means? You know what that means? We're going to take a break from all of this serious discussion, and we're going to instead... Oh, my webcam isn't working for some reason. Oh well. You guys can just listen to me and not see my glorious face, I guess. There you go. It is time for Florida Man. Florida Man arrested for shoplifting at Kohl's after job interview. A Florida man who just finished a job interview at Kohl's store ending up leaving in handcuffs. Florida man is charged with retail theft after deputies say he tried to shoplift shoes just minutes after he left a job interview at the store in Spring Hill. After leaving the Human Resource Office, Hernando County Sheriff's Office says, Florida man spotted 2 pairs of Nike shoes without security tags. Authorities say he grabbed a Kohl's shopping bag from a previous purchase out of his car and put both pairs of shoes into the bag and tried to leave the building. He did not get very far. A loss prevention worker was watching him the entire time and called the sheriff's office to report the crime in progress. Florida man was taken into custody in the parking lot. Florida man told investigators he was going to give the shoes to his mother. Obviously, he did not get the job. Oh, Florida man, you absolute maniac. Back to your ways of crime once again. After we just read about your heroic actions just a few weeks ago, Florida man, this backsliding is really just heartbreaking. All of us here at Field Talk, and we wish that while you are no doubt incarcerated, that you do reflect upon your criminal ways and change them for the better. And hopefully, the next time we see you in the news, it will be for doing something good instead of something ridiculous. It was a much shorter article than I expected, my dudes. So, again, a little bit shorter. On a journey. What is going on? Oh, Breitbart was. I always thought that Breitbart's death was very suspicious. I might do that on Friday, just all day Florida. An entire show on Florida Man. Florida Man may be a problem, but he's also national entertainment. That is quite true. I do think that Breitbart's death was highly suspicious, and it's quite strange that nothing ever came. I don't even know if it was ever investigated at all. But and the timing of it was just too weird. It was just too strange. So guys, well, we do happen to know someone who likes writing theme songs, so he might go ahead and do that. That'd be hilarious. I would love to use a theme song for the Florida Man segment. That would be fun. Anyway, I'm going to. It was a shorter article than I expected. I don't have very much to say about that. Just don't steal things, and just don't steal things. Really, just don't. I'll call it here, and I will be on a call in one of the chats shortly, and maybe we can chat a little bit more about the meme of inquisitors and sectarians. That would be fun. I do like that. Hopefully we can get it to spread. That would be fun. Oh, a parody of Spider-Man. That would work. That would work great. Yeah, I'll be on Boulder. Anyway, so if you enjoyed the stream, please go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to see more, you can subscribe. And if you would like that subscription to mean anything, please hit the bell. Maybe it'll work, or maybe it won't. Who knows? It's a gamble. If you love gambling, go ahead and click it just for that. If you would like to support me, you can do so by going to redbubble.com/people/ REFILD, or clicking on the mug on the link in the description labeled mug to get your very own handsome mug, which makes your coffee taste 30% more handsome. Or if you want to support me directly, you can go to paypal.me/fieldtalk and throw me some shekels because I'm poor and I need them. And as always, have a great night. And never forget that socialism always ends in starvation and genocide. Oops.